Okay, real talk. Your grandpa once fixed a car engine with a shoelace and a butter knife, then casually mentioned it at dinner like it was nothing. Meanwhile, I called customer support because my TV remote needed new batteries. We are not the same. The silent generation, born between 1928 and 1945, basically rebuilt civilization from scratch using only determination, duct tape, and the complete absence of complaining. They survived the Great Depression as kids, came of age during World War II, and somehow decided, yeah, this is fine. Let's just build highways and invent suburbs. And the absolute wildest part, they never once posted about it. No TikToks documenting their trauma. No LinkedIn humblebrags about rising at 4 a.m. to work the factory. No Instagram stories like, just rationed our weekly sugar hashtag, blessed hashtag depression survivor vibes. They just did it, silently, hence the name. So, today we're getting into the actual psychology of how growing up between economic collapse and global warfare turned an entire generation into the human equivalent of those Nokia phones that could survive a nuclear blast. Because here's the thing, they weren't quiet because they had nothing to say. They were quiet because they were too busy fixing your broken refrigerator with a paperclip and sheer willpower. Let's go. Picture this. You're 7 years old. It's 1935. Your family just lost everything in the Depression. Your dad's looking for work. Your mom's making potato surprise for dinner. Spoiler. The surprise is more potatoes. Do you get to have a breakdown about it? LOL. No. You get to be seen and not heard, which was basically the 1930s version of, we don't have time for this right now, Susan. And psychologically, this did something insane to their brains. It taught them elite-level emotional regulation before that was even a term. Therapists today charge $200 an hour to teach you what Silent Gen kids learned from sheer survival necessity. You can feel your feelings later. Right now we've got stuff to do. Scared about the war? Understandable. Still gotta collect scrap metal for the war effort though. Sad about rationing? Valid. Dinner's still not gonna cook itself. Anxious about the future? Sure. But the chickens need feeding. This wasn't emotional suppression, it was strategic compartmentalization. They became absolute masters at what psychologists call distress tolerance. Translation: life can be falling apart around them, and they'll just calmly adjust, adapt, and keep going. Compare that to today, where we have an app to check in with our feelings, and if the Wi-Fi goes out, we enter all 5 stages of grief simultaneously. Silent Gen watched their entire economy implode as children and still managed to grow up thinking, well, could have been worse. Could have been worse. Sir, you ate bread sandwiches. But that's the magic. They didn't dramatize hardship. They just handled it. And then went outside to fix something with their hands because therapy hadn't been invented yet. And honestly, a wrench works pretty good. Let's talk about Silent Gen and money. Actually, let's talk about Silent Gen and everything, because they don't waste anything, ever. If you grew up during the Depression, the idea of throwing something away feels like a felony. Aluminum foil? You wash it. Wrapping paper? You iron it and save it for next year. Bread bags? That's your new Tupperware, baby. Jars? Oh, don't even get me started on the jars. Silent Gen keeps every jar like they're prepping for the apocalypse, and honestly, given their track record, they might know something we don't. This is what psychologists call scarcity imprinting. When you live through actual scarcity, your brain permanently shifts into resource conservation mode. One Christmas, kids got an orange in their stocking and lost their minds with joy. An orange. Not an iPad, not a hoverboard, a fruit. We've fallen so far. But here's the genius part. This frugality built legendary impulse control. Silent Gen doesn't add to cart. They don't even look at the cart. They save, they plan, they wait, they consider. Then they probably still don't buy it because what if we need that money for emergencies? And what counts as an emergency? Literally anything. Running out of canned goods in 2047. You never know. Meanwhile, we're over here with 17 subscription services we forgot to cancel, crying about student loans. But the psychological superpower this created. Delayed gratification. While we're chasing dopamine hits like caffeinated squirrels, Silent Jen is calmly sitting on financial stability they built with extreme patience and the occasional garage sale. They don't panic during economic downturns. They're just like, oh, you mean a normal Tuesday in 1937? Cute. Imagine you're 16 years old. The entire planet is actively on fire. World War II is raging, and instead of doom scrolling about it, you get to work. You plant a victory garden. You collect scrap metal for the war effort. You work factory shifts making ammunition. You write letters to soldiers. You ration butter like it's liquid gold. And through all of this, you still somehow help your mum make dinner and do your homework. No one gave you a medal. No one threw you a parade. There was no Employee of the Month award for Best Teenage War Effort Contributor. You just did it because someone had to. This is what psychologists call collective identity, the understanding that you are part of something bigger than yourself, and your individual struggles matter less than the group survival. Silent Jen didn't grow up asking, but what about my needs? They grew up asking, what needs to be done? And then they did it, quietly, effectively, without fanfare. Meanwhile, we're out here needing external validation for going to the gym twice in 1 week. But here's why this matters. When hardship has meaning, it doesn't destroy you. It fuels you. Silent Jen wasn't just enduring random suffering. They were contributing to victory, to survival, to rebuilding. That's why they don't crumble under pressure. Responsibility doesn't scare them. It activates them. Ask them how they handled rationing, war stress, and economic uncertainty all at once. And they'll shrug and say, we just did what needed to be done. Mom, sir, you held civilization together with string and determination. You didn't just do anything. But that humility, that's the whole vibe. No drama, no spotlight, just quiet, unshakable competence.